what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellowshow. My name's Kyle. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We're doing our start sits for week 12. I apologize for pushing the stream back about an hour and a half, but I had some shopping to do, and I just got home. So here we go. We're going to do the start sits. I'm going to kind of read some of the news and the more important blurbs that came out from today. But if you want to have a question answered, fill it up in the chat room. We'll get to them in just a few minutes. But again, the major news from today, it looks like the Lions are planning to start Jared Goff tomorrow against the Chicago Bears. We do see that the Saints have ruled out Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram is questionable. So I think a lot of people are probably going to the waiver wire looking at Tony Jones Jr. And the thing with Tony Jones Jr. is if Mark Ingram is out in this game, he's probably a solid running back too. I think he can be useful in PPR leagues. And again, we've just seen Kamara, Ingram, no matter which running back it's been, he's going to get funneled a ton of receptions. And Trevor Siemian, he likes to dump it off. So good evening to Harris. Hope you're having a good night. Sorry for the delay on things. But we're here. We're helping out everybody that we can. I'm just looking at some of the major news and notes from today. It looks like Rob Gronkowski practicing in full. He's on track to play against the Colts. Allen Lazard back for the Packers. He was limited today. Lamar Jackson back and practicing in full from his illness from last week. It does look like the Saints have ruled out one of their best pass rushers, Marcus Davenport, with a shoulder injury. You have Corey Davis limited in today's practice. Baker Mayfield not practicing on Wednesday. So he said he had previously planned to participate in practice on Wednesday, so he didn't show up today. So that's interesting. I think just with Thanksgiving being on Thursday, I don't think we're going to get too many practice blurbs from the NFL tomorrow. So Friday is going to be an interesting day. Let me go to the next page here. Good evening to Aiden. Oh no, which one? Gronk or Hawk rest of season? Probably Gronk. Probably Gronk. Kamara is definitely ruled out. He is definitely out. Mark Ingram's looking like questionable. And then as far as CD, they let him practice today. He got a limited practice in today. He has a questionable tag. So I did see that ESPN updated his projections to about 15. So it looks like CD 50-50 to play right now. You'll have to, kind of watch the news updates about 90 minutes before kickoff. I think we would have an accurate answer. So he's 50-50 for now. Kamara out for sure. Montgomery or Gibson? Technically, I would say Montgomery just because we know he's going to get the full workload. Gibson does split time with McKissick. So I'm going to say Montgomery, but I do like Gibson's matchup, but I think I got to go with Montgomery against the Lions. And sorry to hear, man, Jalen Green with the injury. Hope he's okay. Aaron Rodgers did not practice today. It's a toe injury. He revealed that he broke his pinky toe. He has played with this the last 2 weeks, though, so I'm not too concerned. Chris Godwin limited today with a foot injury. Davante Adams limited with an ankle injury. And probably the surprise of the day, Aaron Jones practicing on a limited basis with the knee injury. And then the blurb here goes, this was expected after Coach LaFleur said the running back would get in some work Wednesday. It remains possible that the Packers decide to rest Jones one more game with the bye coming up next week. But a limited practice this early in the week puts him on track to play. So Friday, huge day for Aaron Jones. If you guys are holding out for Aaron Jones, there's a small chance. I think if he gets another limited practice in or a full practice on Friday, that he's probably going to play. And you're going to want to get him in your lineups. It looks like for the Patriots, a couple tight ends here. Jonnu Smith limited on Wednesday. And same thing with Hunter Henry. We don't really care about Jonnu Smith, but Hunter Henry we do care about. We got Joseph hanging out with us. Good evening to you, sir. Stevenson or Wilson Jr. in flex. So the good news is both these teams play on Sunday, so you don't have to worry about this decision quite yet. I think for me to fully answer this question, I need to know if Elijah Mitchell's going to play. So I'm trying to pull up. I want to go see the 49ers practice reports today. If Elijah Mitchell didn't practice today, I'm leaning towards our guy Jeff Wilson. Let me just pull this up real quick, and we'll hit SF. So Elijah Mitchell got a limited practice in today. So and now I got to just look and see what time these two teams play at. So the Patriots are going to play at noon, and San Francisco plays at 3:25. Okay, so we need to wait and see what's going on with Elijah Mitchell. If Elijah Mitchell doesn't play, you want to play Jeff Wilson Jr. If Mitchell plays, you're going to want to go with Stevenson. So I think we have to wait and see. Maybe by Friday we have a better idea of what's going on. So for now, I'm going to say it's a toss-up. I'm fine with Stevenson. He's the safe play right now. But if no Mitchell, we're going to get Wilson in our lineup. Jalen Waddle or CeeDee Lamb. I think if Lamb plays, you got to start CeeDee Lamb. I mean, if he's able to clear concussion protocol in 3 days, that's the play that makes the most sense. Even if he's slightly limited, I don't see them putting him out there if he can't play 100%. So if Lamb plays, you're playing Lamb. Noah Fant or Pat Freiermuth? Good question. This one's tough. I know Noah Fant has a really good matchup this weekend against the Chargers. I like Noah Fant quite a bit. Pat Freiermuth, though, has been playing really, really well, and Eric Ebron done for the season essentially. So I'm leaning towards, I guess I'll say it this way, Pat's the safer play of the group here. I like his targets. I like his usage right now. With Noah Fant, I don't know if I trust that offense in Denver. It's kind of just, there's too many mouths to feed there. Where with the Steelers, who, if they're throwing the ball, it's going to Deontay, it's going to Claypool, or it's going to Pat. So I think Pat's the safe play. If you want to go for the boom upside, it's Fant, but I like Pat right now. David Johnson, T.Y., or Ty Johnson, or Miles Sanders. This one's easy. We're going to go Miles Sanders. No problem, Joseph. Let's see. What's going on, Justin? Thanks for hanging out. Cedric Wilson or Kenny G? I'm going to go Cedric Wilson if no CeeDee Lamb. So if no CeeDee Lamb, I'm getting Wilson in there. Kenny Golladay frustrates me right now. I don't know what's going to happen with that Giants offense. They just let Jason Garrett go. We should expect them to be better, I would think, with things kind of loosened up. So I don't really trust Kenny Golladay at all. Or it's T. Smith. Or is that Traquan Smith? I mean, Kenny Golladay, is he even a top 50-ish receiver right now? I'm kind of nervous about that. So, and there's a really strong chance that Kenny Golladay is going to be matched up against Darius Slay. So I will say this: if no CeeDee Lamb, go with Wilson. Otherwise, if Lamb plays, I think I'm going to go with Traquan Smith. Traquan Smith's been playing well. Sutton or Beckham? So it's a tougher matchup for Sutton going up against the Chargers, where Beckham going against the Packers. That does feel nice, but I think I'm going to stick with Cortland Sutton. I know it's been rough the last few weeks, but I kind of trust Sutton a little bit more than I do Odell Beckham Jr. right now. Darnell Mooney, Jalen Waddle, or Van Jefferson? The answer is probably Darnell Mooney, because I'm assuming Allen Robinson's out, so I kind of view Darnell Mooney as a solid wide receiver too. I know there's some boom bust potential in there, so if you want to play the safest guy, it's Waddle, but I really like Darnell Mooney, so that's who I'm going to pick there. Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm just going to keep reading some of the news in between some of the questions. But the Dolphins claimed Phillip Lindsay today off waivers. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm seeing Damian Harris got a limited practice in today with his neck injury. Deonta Foreman limited on Wednesday. We'll see. I'm interested to see what that the Tennessee Titans backfield looks like. Jeremy McNichols did not practice today. So interesting. Deonta Foreman limited, no Jeremy McNichols, and then they essentially released Adrian Peterson so they could bring up Dontrell Hilliard. So if you guys are needing the last player on your bench, running back, Dontrell Hilliard, he looked really good. He had 9 carries last week as well as a bunch of catches. So if McNichols can't go, Dontrell Hilliard's looking like a guy that could have a nice PPR day. So check your waiver wires for Dontrell Hilliard. I'm looking at James Robinson saying he was limited on Wednesday. Let me see what else here. No JaMychal Hasty for the 49ers. And it does say Elijah Mitchell was limited. So it says it's an upgrade after Mitchell missed practice all last week with a broken finger that required surgery. He was inactive against the Jaguars, but this limited session puts him on track to return. So I'm leaning towards seeing Elijah Mitchell this weekend, which in my guy Joseph's question earlier. So it might be a Stevenson game. Pick one, non-PPR, Elijah Mitchell, Jalen Waddle, Noah Fant, Stevenson, Ty Johnson, or Van Jefferson. So non-PPR, if Mitchell's on track to play, I want Elijah Mitchell. He's going to be the guy that gets you the most yards and probably has the best opportunity at a touchdown. So this one's easy, non-PPR, I want Mitchell. Waddle is a great PPR option, but for non-PPR, his yards and yards per catch are pretty low. Noah Fant could catch a touchdown. I could see some nice things there, but I'm going to stick with Elijah Mitchell if I can. Ty Johnson, Deonta Foreman, or Alex Collins. I like that. Axel Collins. That should be his real name. That'd be kind of a cool name. Joseph, are you able to answer if this is PPR? If it's PPR, that's going to change things for me because then I'm looking at Ty Johnson as probably being the safest floor. If it's a standard league, I probably like either way. I kind of like Ty Johnson the best almost in any format just because I know he's going to catch passes and rack up yards. And so it's half PPR. Okay. Interesting. So if just the Seahawks have a really tough matchup if they're playing the Washington football team. I just don't trust that Seahawks running game right now, so I don't like Collins. It's between Ty and Foreman, so half PPR. I'm going to go with Ty Johnson. So would you really drop Hawk for Gronk in PPR? Probably. If that was my decision, if I couldn't hold on to both, I think I like Rob Gronkowski right now because one, you're attached to Tom Brady versus being attached to Tim Boyle, Jared Goff. Hawk has been known to Hawk hasn't really shown us much of anything in the last month of football, so I'm leaning with Gronk in this one in Tampa Bay. The Blazers. That's funny. It was as soon as that we ended that show, I was like, oh my God, guys, like we were so mean to the Blazers, but maybe that's what they needed. They hurt us. Pick one running back in one flex. Pick one running back in one flex, non-PPR. Gibson, Monty, Adam Thielen, Antonio Brown, Brandon Cooks, Kareem Hunt, or Miles Sanders. So in this one, I think I'm going both running backs. I think you're starting David Montgomery for sure as your RB. And then as far as flex, I'm still not sure if Antonio Brown plays. I'm not excited about Brandon Cooks. I'm intrigued with Kareem Hunt, but I think Miles Sanders or Antonio Gibson are probably the two guys that I'm looking at. They both have really, really good matchups this week. Let me pull up the charts real quick because Gibson they're playing Seattle. Seattle gives up the second most points to running back right now. I guess in a non-PPR format, they give up the third most. So I like Gibson's matchup for Seattle. And then the Giants going up against Miles Sanders, they give up a lot of points as well. So it's Gibson, Montgomery, or Sanders. Those are the three guys I'm looking at. I would probably rank them as Montgomery and then probably Gibson because I think Gibson has a better chance to score a touchdown than Miles Sanders. So Montgomery, Gibson, Sanders would be my three ranked. So I guess you're going with the top two there. Fant or Dallas? Is that Dallas Goedert? Let's see. I kind of like Goddard in this one. I know it's the Giants. Let me see where the Giants allow fantasy points here. So the Giants, and this is standard format here. So the New York Giants are allowing about 8 standard points per game to the tight end position, where the Chargers with Noah Fant averaging about 11.65. So technically the better matchup is with Noah Fant. So I'm going to say Noah Fant's probably the guy to roll with. They're coming off a bye too. Everyone's healthy. That I think Noah Fant is the correct answer, but I'm not going to be surprised if I guess Goddard has a good game. But roll with the numbers, Fant. For just reference, the Chargers have allowed 9 passing touchdowns to the tight end. The Giants have allowed just 4. So you technically have a better odds to get a touchdown playing the Chargers than you do the Giants. Do I think A.J. Brown will play? So I didn't like last week's game. I mean, he got injured twice. He had to come out and back in twice last week. He did not practice today. I think it would make sense for them to not practice him. But as far as we know right now, he did not practice on Wednesday. It looks like Friday would be his biggest day. And again, I don't think we're going to – so I don't know how the NFL teams do this for Thanksgiving. Like, do they have the players come in and do like a quick practice in the morning, or like, I'm not sure how it works. I don't know if we're going to get, practice updates for tomorrow. So I think Friday is probably the most important day for a lot of these guys this week. At the moment right now, I would lean towards no AJ Brown. I think they're going to try and see what they can do without him. But I'm trying to go back to some of the player news here. Interesting. So I found a blurb about if you guys need a tight end or a tight end 2, or if you're nervous about your tight ends of the future and you need somebody to just add, I think Gerald Everett's interesting. Pete Carroll said that we have to keep going to Gerald Everett. Carroll identified Everett's physicality after the catch as the reason the team needs to get him more involved. In his first season with the Seahawks, Everett did not do much early in the year, but he has 11 catches for 100 yards over the last 2 games. So it's interesting. I think if you need someone in half PPR or PPR, Gerald Everett could be a guy that catches a lot more balls down the stretch. Drake felt good about his calves now. Yep, everything flip-flops. everything, everything. The Cavs always do this, man. They start the first month of the season off well, and then they end up tanking it. But keep coming with the questions. We'll hang out another 10, 15 minutes or so. I was happy to see that Cordero Patterson was practicing again with the ankle injury. I think he's on track to play, so that's good news. It looks like Tyron Smith for the Cowboys is going to play tomorrow. So, like, I really like Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. I think the Cowboys are going to run tomorrow. And again, I can't give a prediction on CeeDee Lamb. I think it's 50-50. I'm surprised that if he plays, but Dak Prescott said Lamb was a full participant in practice, but he was officially given the limited tag. So I don't know. It looks like they're trying to get Lamb in there. Is this a lost Seahawks season? Yes. I think it's. So here's the thing with Seattle. If you guys if you have Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, even if you're relying on Alex Collins, this is the last chance for the Seahawks for fantasy, I think. It's a good matchup on paper for the passing game, right? The football team allows a lot of points to QBs, a lot of points to wide receivers, and that's the strength of the Seattle offense. It's Russell Wilson and the two receivers. So I would say start these guys. If they look bad in this matchup where they should have dominated on paper, then we can pretty much start to think about shutting them down. I would look to trade pieces. I would just salvage what I can from those pieces. And if they fall to 3-8, I don't know what else to tell. Like they're done, man. Like they need this win to stay in the playoffs. I think it's going to be an interesting on Monday Night Football. So I'm watching for that. But I just think I don't know. I'm willing to give them one more chance. Such a weird week with no, I mean that's Thanksgiving, man. That's just how it is. I'm actually really glad that a couple of years ago they didn't have the nightcap game. They started adding that third game just a few years ago, and I loved it. They continued to keep doing it, but we need better Thursday games. I don't know why I know it's tradition, but do we have to watch the Lions every goddamn Thanksgiving? We'll see. But anyways, I'm excited. Bears, Lions tomorrow. We'll see what Matt Nagy does. Good news if you guys are holding on to Marquise Brown. He returned to practice today. My bad, Harris. My bad. Pick one wide receiver and one flex. A.J. Brown, Elijah Moore, Hunter Henry, Antonio Brown, or Javonte Williams, assuming Aaron Jones does not play. So pick one wide receiver and one flex. So for my wide receiver, I mean, if AJ Brown plays, I gotta start AJ Brown. If AJ Brown does not play, I will wait. So not starting Hunter Renfrow tomorrow, I think might be the best choice. But let me look up real quick. I just want to see what the Cowboys have done against the wide receivers. They're kind of middle of the road, and then I'm gonna go look up a tool real quick. I want to see what style of receivers have been scoring against the Dallas Cowboys, because it might be a Hunter Renfrow game. And I'm assuming that this is probably a standard format for you, Harris. I'm just going to click on this one. Let's see here. So the best receivers against the Cowboys this year have been wait, hold on. Fantasy points scored. Why are they on the list? 1 second. I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so the Dallas Cowboys, middle of the road. So the best players against the Cowboys for receiver this year have been DJ Moore, Kadarius Toney, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Williams had a good game, Tim Patrick, Adam Thielen. So some of these like quicker receivers, you didn't see Mike Williams in there. If this was PPR, I'd say go Hunter Renfrow, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for AJ Brown to play. If he doesn't play, I'll go Elijah Moore. And then Antonio Brown, I'm not sure he's going to play. So that whole question's kind of muddy because I don't know if AJ Brown or Antonio Brown are going to play. I want AJ Brown though. And then at flex, if Aaron Jones plays, you're playing Aaron Jones. Otherwise, I think I'm comfortable with Javonte Williams coming off a bye. The Chargers, one of the worst teams against the run. Favorite Thanksgiving food? So I'm not a big Thanksgiving food guy to begin with. If anything, I nibble and then I go for the desserts. But what I like to do is I like the snacks. Like after a lot of people have meals early in the day during the football games, I like the snacks at the end of the night. So I'm not a big Thanksgiving food guy. I'm not a big turkey guy. I'm not a big potato guy. I like kind of just snacking in the desserts. Um, but Ron T, thanks for hanging out, my man. PPR, start 2 out of these 3: Javonte, Devonta, and Jerry Jeudy. Um, PPR, I think I will start Jerry Jeudy, just because he's been leading the team in targets since he came back, and now he's had a full week to heal up after that bye. I feel pretty good about Jerry Jeudy in a PPR format. And then for the running backs, so Devonta Freeman is the pass catching back in that offense. Javonte Williams coming off a bye as well. I kind of like him because he's got a really good matchup. We just talked about him and Harris's question here. So I like Javonte Williams. I also like Devonta Freeman. Based on matchup, it's technically Javonte's got the better matchup. So I'm going to say I'll go with the 2 Bronco guys. I'll go with Jerry Jeudy and I'll go with Javonte Williams. Over under 100 points from Goff. From golf. Over under 2 so Swift. Over under from what? I'm so confused. Over under 100 yards from golf. Over under 200 yards for Swift. I'm so confused, Aiden. TJ Hawkinson or Logan Thomas. So it looks like Logan T is going to probably play this week, which I'm excited. I'm excited to get Logan Thomas back in my lineups. I think it's tough because we don't know if he's going to play yet. He just started practicing today. So I don't know if there's a good answer to this question. I think you might just have to fall on TJ Hawkinson right now, just in case there's that small opportunity where Thomas doesn't play. So if you don't use Hawkinson tomorrow and you want to wait for Logan Thomas, you just got to make sure you have a hedge in there. So I think it's a gut call. I'm fine with TJ Hawkinson. The Chicago Bears are actually pretty stingy, though, against the tight end as I look at this. Where are they? The Bears, they rank 25th, which I guess is pretty good. They only allow about 9 PPR points per game to the tight end. If you play in standard, it's about 5 points here. They've only allowed, through 10 games, they've allowed 3 touchdowns, 342 yards, and 39 catches. So that's roughly 4 catches per game for 34 yards. So that doesn't excite me. Whereas Logan Thomas going up against Seattle, that's a little bit juicier matchup. So if you can hold on and wait for Logan Thomas, I think I would. And no problem, Ron. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate your kind words. Will Swift run for more yards than Goff passes for? No, I think Goff will probably Goff will probably flirt with about 200 yards. So I think Goff will be okay. Javonte Williams or Josh Jacobs, and would you be okay with putting Aaron Jones at the flex? Oh, I love Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones plays, you want him anywhere you can in your lineup. So I love Aaron Jones there. Now, Javonte Williams or Josh Jacobs tomorrow. So Jacobs playing against Dallas. Let me look and see if this is a good matchup. Dallas has been pretty stingy against the running backs, but Jacobs has had a pretty safe floor the last few games. He's been catching passes, and I know that you don't get – I don't think Harris plays much PPR. So I think just looking at this, Josh Jacobs the last few games, the rushing stats haven't been there. He had 37 rushing yards against the Bengals and 16 against the Chiefs. The passing yards, 24 and 20. So if this was PPR, I would say Josh Jacobs. But I think if this is standard league, I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. And, of course, Aaron Jones is always going to be my answer. He's looking like a good play if he can get in there. More player news here. Allen Robinson's doubtful for tomorrow. Sterling Shepard not practicing today, so that's interesting. Something to monitor there. Let me see. Mike Evans did not practice today with back tightness. Something to monitor there. Here's an interesting guy. If you have, this is the time of the year where the last 1 or 2 spots on your bench, you should be loading up on running backs, whether that's for this week. I think Matt Breida. I'm not saying to start Matt Breida, but here's the blurb from one of the beat writers there. He says, "Don't be surprised if Thursday becomes the Matt Breida game." So I like to be a week ahead of the waiver wire on things like this. So a guy like Matt Breida, if he pops off for 100 yards and a touchdown or 2 tomorrow night, you beat the waiver wire by a week. So that's the kind of moves that help me a lot. So Matt Breida, if he's hanging on your waiver wire, he's worth a hold over tomorrow night. And then basically just other handcuff running backs. Like if you can, I would rather hold a handcuff running back than a second or a third tight end. So like a guy like Samaje Perine, a good backup there for Joe Mixon. Look into some of those backup running backs, because who knows, man? All it takes is one quick injury, and then we're rushing to the waiver wire for these running backs the following week. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. Otherwise, I'm going to sign out of here for the night. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to be traveling to Green Bay to see family tomorrow. So no video tomorrow. I'm sorry. If you guys have questions, all the social media stuff and the links are in the description below, so check us out there. But man, I'm just excited. Football on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know. It sounds like CeeDee Lamb's going to play, so I think that's going to make the game a little bit more exciting. So let me know. Again, if you guys have questions, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you guys so much for your time. Have a great holiday Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.